This is a job in ValConnect. This is a standard residential short form property pro job. In ValConnect, the platform is divided into essentially three sections: the center panel, the right-hand panel, which is also called as the research panel, and the left-hand navigation bar. So starting from the right side, which is the research panel, there are various sections in the research panels. And the first one is the gallery. So in the gallery, there are two subtabs, the CoreLogic tab and the shortlist. So the CoreLogic tab consists of all the photos that CoreLogic has against the property. This is essentially the same list of photos that we see in RP data as well. And the shortlist tab contains photos taken by the valuer. So at any given point, the valuer can select the camera icon either on the top header or over here and add photos either from the device or capture from the device as well. And once the photos are added, there are labels that the valuer can choose. And also once the labels are selected, these photos can be reordered and the order will be the same as it will appear on the report. The next section is the map or the mapping tool section. Once we expand this, the image that you see is from Nearmap, and Nearmap provides high quality aerial imagery. Along with the imagery, you will see at the bottom there are various survey dates. Survey dates are dates on which Nearmap has captured these aerial imagery. This is fairly essential when we want to compare some improvements done outside of the property and see if there are any pool or any of the other constructions that have happened. And along with the map layers, there are certain other sections, which is your property data layers, your target property or dimensions, and your area research. In area research, we have school catchment. So if we toggle this on, you could see your school catchment areas, and you could see the school pins, which will tell us if it's a primary, secondary, combined, or a special school. The second research layer is your bushfire. So the bushfire overlay appears in brownish orange color. And as you can see, this subject property is affected by bushfire. Similarly, can turn the flood layer on. You could see the flood overlay in blue, the heritage overlay in brown. We also have high voltage power. So the darker line is the transmission line in itself, and the shaded area is the 50-meter buffer. And finally, the easements as well, which appears in pink. To go with that, in the center panel, there is a planning and hazards card. So all the planning related data will appear here. And the details of any of the affectation for flood or bushfire will appear in a bit more of detail on the planning and hazards card. Along with that, there are planning uses, which tells what's prohibited and what's permitted on the property. So going back to the research panel, we have property history. This is the standard property history that also appears in RP data. All the sale or rental related listings are also available. Fourth section is market trends. So market trends provides different metrics for the suburb and across various time periods. And the last section is the documents, which is divided into ValX documents and ValConnect documents. ValX documents are documents that are essentially sent by the lender. Going back to the center panel, the platform is as per Property Pro. The first section is your general details. So in the general details, everything that appears in red means that it is mandatory. All the data from CoreLogic universe is pre-populated into the platform, and all the other sections are to be selected or completed by the valuer. So in zoning effect, on the top right corner, you can see three lines. These three lines essentially indicate there are preset commentary available. Preset commentary can be set up by an admin from the valuation firm, and this is configured within ValConnect. So in this case, there are two preset commentary selected. I can select one or I can select both in this case, and I can do a close, and the commentary is pre-populated into the text box. So this functionality can be set up for anything that has multi-line text. The last section on the first page is previous sale details. This is again pre-populated from CoreLogic. Well, if the property was sold within the last 3 years, the previous sale commentary becomes mandatory. Moving on to the next section, which is a land and location. This section is designed in a way that the valuer can select the attributes while on the road. So in this case, I'm selecting some of the attributes, and as I select the attributes for various sections, there is a commentary or description that is created for the valuer. And in case the valuer thinks that needs to be edited, there is an edit option as well. And this is what gets populated into the report. Similarly, there is a location and neighborhood section as well with a similar functionality as site description. The next section is the improvements. So the improvement section is divided into the main building, ancillary, car, and areas. So in the main building, there is construction. So the valuer can again select attributes for the main building. And at any given point, if the valuer identifies any fixtures and fittings, they can hit the blue bar, select the fixtures and fittings, and then hit the blue bar again to collapse this section and continue with the rest of the property. And for easier selection, there is an add bed. So when a bedroom is added, all the attributes for the bedroom appear. Valuer can select whatever is relevant and also add an ensuite bathroom. Similarly, you can add a bed as well. And any other additional rooms can also be added through the add room section. Ancillary improvements are very similar to the previous attribute section, can select different attributes. And then the car accommodation, if there is a car accommodation, you could select add multiple car accommodations. So in this case, I'm just going to select one car accommodation type with 2 car spaces. Now, all the information entered here, if there are any outdoor areas that are available as well, they appear in the area section. In this case, we have a living area. Just going to put 250 meters and a detached garage of 10 meters. So what happens here is all the areas that is entered here is populated into the summation section. So the summation is methodology calculations that the valuer can do as preferred. So here, since the living area was entered as 250, it appears here. Once the rate is entered, the replacement cost is automatically calculated. There can be a detailed analysis of ancillary improvements done, but if you wish not to, you can just toggle that off and enter the total added value. So in this case, I'm going to add 200K as total added value and 800 for the total land value, and adopted insurance replacement cost as well. So all this information, again, that is captured in summation section gets pre-populated into the assessment. So you have a market value of 1 million. All the other sections are standard Property Pro. There are drop-downs and validations for each of these sections. We have marketability. So if you do enter marketability or poor or below average, comments are mandatory. Is the property under contract or under offer? All the relevant additional fields show up. And similarly for essential repairs. So if essential repairs is required as yes, you would have to enter the VRA, which is automatically toggled on to make sure VRA commentary also is entered for VRA 3. And the improvements risk ratings can be reviewed by going to the risk section. So jumping onto the risk section, the risks are segregated into 2 categories, property and market risks with 5 ratings each. If there is a risk rating that is mandatory, validation will be shown with sufficient information. That minimum rating of 4 is required. So if a rating of 1 or 2 is selected, commentary is not required, but if it's 4, then preset commentary can be added as well. Moving on to the next section, we have our sales evidence. So sales evidence has various ways you could do a sales search. address, radius, and parcel. So in this case, I've done a radius search of 2 kilometers. I've used this default filters available, and I can see there are 17 properties that are showing up. So going to the filters, I could select by sold within 6 months if they are settled only, and standard attributes that I can use my filters on. And as I do apply filters, I can see only settled ones here now. And I can open a sale card, and I can see if there are any photos or any information against that sale will be available here. So if I select the next one, any photographs that are available against the property will be available on the sale card, and all the attributes will be pre-filled. So the valuer, if they prefer that this is a comparable sale, you just have to select the shortlist icon, and this sale will be shortlisted, and you could go to the shortlist tab. Any validations will be shown in red and can complete those relevant sections. If the valuer has edited any of the fields, so in this case, the valuer has edited the bed to 5, you will see a blue border across the attribute, and there will be a label that will appear. In this case, this will be the name of the valuation firm. The blue indicates that this sale has been analyzed by the valuer, and the details can be seen in the edit logs. Any difference between CoreLogic and ValFirm data can be seen in the data source. So all the information that is edited by the valuer will be stored in a secure database, only accessible for the valuation firm. Right after completing all the sections, there is a preview option. You could preview the report. All the information captured on the platform will be populated into the standard Property Pro report. And this will be the report that will be sent to the lender. All this information can be reviewed, and all the photographs along with the labels will appear in the photograph section. All the commentary will be available in additional comments as well. The last section is copy forward. So copy forward allows you to copy one or various sections from the previously completed report. If there is a same or similar address available, that will be populated at the bottom. You could select that, or you could enter a ValX, previous ValX job ID to select either all or certain sections of the report. So in this case, I have a residential short form that was completed earlier, and I can select all, which is going to copy the entire report, or I could just select certain sections, in this case, value of photos, and hit copy forward to copy the photos from the previous report onto this job.